Welcome to Making Sense with Dustin Lamontagne from Research Capital. My name is Bryn Griffiths. Dustin, how you doing today?
Awesome, Brent. How's yourself?
Great, thank you. Hey, listen, one of the topics that should be attacked and approached is that of healthcare, because man, oh man, has that ever changed, I'm guessing, in the past 18 to 20 months?
Yeah, that's probably an understatement. If you look at some of the things that have transpired in the sector, right? Whether you're talking about these RNA vaccines, vaccine delivery, or just people, not able to go into a clinic and having an appointment with a doctor or a specialist over the phone or Zoom, right?
Yeah. Let's focus first on pharmas, because that's an area that has changed not only in the medication that we get, but also how we get that medication in particular stores. Yeah,
exactly. When you talk about the pharmaceutical industry, it's so massive and so large and so diverse. There's nobody that is untouched from that industry, right? Whether you're talking about common cold medicines or headache, Advil or Tylenol, to specialty medicines, which you've had exposure to yourself, with your health issues over the last couple of years, right? So. Pharmaceutical stocks, I think, are, especially with the aging population, they're going to be a very good area to invest in. Now, there's a number of different avenues people can choose to invest in that area. You can buy individual stocks, or you can go with some of these baskets like ETFs, exchange-traded funds, or you can look at their specialty healthcare funds that are managed by different companies out in the marketplace. So I won't get into specifics today, but if anyone wants to, give me a shout and discuss that area, I'd be more than willing. So.
What about medical equipment? Here's another area that I don't know how much that's changed, but I'm guessing there's always an evolution in that regard.
Well, and some of the research I've done on this sector, it's a little concerning for how great the technology is at extending lives and curing medicines. It's also escalating the costs in the healthcare industry. Some of these machines that they use, whether it be, MRIs or just, I don't know if you've noticed the technology even in hospital beds now, you've got integrated, web-enabled hospital beds now. So it's the technology is amazing, but of course, somebody has to pay for it, and that somebody is you and I, right? So,
yeah.
While I'm a big fan of the technology, we do have to look at at some point there's a tipping point on costs as well. So in that area, medical equipment, the two companies that I've looked at historically have been Stryker and Medtronic. So I think they make everything from stents to hospital beds to heart valves. So in that area, most of the companies are outside of Canada because, of course, we're publicly funded. So when I'm looking at healthcare investments, I'm looking to the U.S., Europe, Asia. And because that's out of our geographical realm, and normally I'm depending on experts in other countries or managers that are very astute in this field to get client exposure. So I've normally gone towards ETFs or specific managers for this sector. Or a person can just buy a company like Johnson & Johnson, which covers almost all the bases.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's very, specifically tailored to each individual client. So
it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I had a hospital stay last year, and I had a chance to talk to one of the doctors, because the one thing that did annoy me a little bit was trying to find the control to raise the bed up and do all that kind of stuff. He says, there's a new one that's just on the verge of coming out, will be voice activated by the patient, where you go bed, lean forward, or bed, go back, or whatever. He said, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it just tells you about how aggressive they're becoming in terms of technology.
Yeah, and that's the type of cost increases we're seeing,
yes.
Right? So on the one side, you've got the pharmacy and medical equipment, and the costs rising dramatically there. And then on the other side, you've got the human factor, right? You've got doctors and nurses and support staff that need to, run our healthcare system. So when you talk about, wage growth, and you talk about increases in equipment prices, things to that nature. And then you've got an aging population, which is going to put stress on the system. It really concerns me whether our publicly funded healthcare system is ready for the challenges that are coming down the pipe.
What about biotech?
Well, biotech is, I think, one of the areas that could be a bit of a savior. And we've seen that in the pandemic most recently, this new vaccine technology. This could maybe be applied to other areas, of concern as well. Maybe there's some areas around things like autoimmune diseases, and who knows where this technology is going to take us? But definitely, we saw lots of changes during the pandemic in this regard. And who would have thought that the rollout of telehealth would be so quick and sharp.
Yeah.
But you've got companies now, a couple out of Vancouver, CloudMD and Well Health, which are leading the surge in that area in Canada, and in the U.S. you've got a big company called Teladoc, and this is quite simply just taking technology like Zoom technology into medical rooms. So, you're going to have the technology where you could have a specialist in San Diego helping a generalist in Edmonton perform heart surgery, for example. So you may see all kinds of variations using this type of technology going forward.
I had also read a story on that about Zoom technology where patients having surgery and the family's actually watching and listening to the doctor do the surgery. It's incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it is incredible, and that technology, I do believe, will be to the detriment and the advantage going forward, because if you can use technology to lower the costs on the servicing side, it could offset some of the technology costs increases on the equipment side. So,
and what about services, that type of thing? As you talk about the population is aging, services, I guess, would have to be growing.
Yeah, and when you think of services, there's probably not a strip mall in Canada that doesn't have some sort of a medical, office attached to it, whether it be dental, optical, or just, you name it, foot, back, chiropractic office, but also just general practitioners. There's a shopping mall in West Edmonton called Meadowlark, and that's been completely converted.
Yep.
Other than, I think there's a Safeway and a Dollarama in there, but the rest is all medical offices.
Walmart is in there. I've gone by there and actually gone into that mall for a service, and you're right, it's completely medical. It's amazing what they've done.
Yeah, I think there's 80 or 100 doctors in that, so you can go there as a one-stop shop.
Yes.
Whatever's wrong with you. But services is going to be a great growth area. I think demographically right now about 15% of the population of Canada is over 25, and I'll use extrapolation to apply that to the U.S. as well. We're very similar. By 2030, that's going to be 25%. So a quarter of our population is going to be over 65. What do you think is going to be, the stress on the healthcare system? The older people get, it's like a car, right?
Yeah.
Parts start going on us.
Yes, they do.
So yeah, great investment opportunity. And it's an area, I'll probably have going forward a 10 to 15% weighting in client portfolios in healthcare.
Wow. Okay, if somebody needs to get a hold of you, how do they reach you?
Give me a call on my cell phone, 780-905-7729, or on my email is dlamontang@researchcapital.com.
And don't forget to check out the website, which is researchcapital.com. And just a reminder, the markets and financial numbers, they change frequently. So what we might be saying today Could easily change by later today or overnight, so make sure you check in with Dustin on that. Hey, thanks. That's a great topic today, and we'll talk to you next time, Dustin.
Thanks, Brent.
Okay, thanks for listening to Making Sense. Have yourself a great day.